Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a midweek preview. Don't have very much of these, but anyway, an exciting week of Premier League and Championship action coming up, starting off on Tuesday with Man City versus Wolves. Now Wolves, they're going okay at the moment, 7 points from the last time, so definitely picking up a bit, but Man City, their form is just unstoppable, and at home I can't see any other result than a Man City win. I think it'll be fairly comfortable too. I'll say 2-0. Burnley host Leicester next up, and this is an interesting one. Burnley, they're okay at the moment, I suppose, but just suffered that really disappointing defeat at Spurs. Before that, they were unbeaten in 3. But yeah, they have gone off the ball a bit recently. Leicester, really disappointing defeat to Arsenal last time out. They weren't on it, but I still think they will have enough quality to beat Burnley. I'm going to say 2-1. Sheffield United host Aston Villa at Bramall Lane. This is an interesting one. Sheffield United, obviously in just dreadful form at the moment. It did look like they were picking up a bit, but yeah, that seems to be a bit wrong. Villa, they had a great start to the season, but now they've just seemed to have developed a bit of inconsistency. Really good 1-0 win away at Leeds last time out though. That's a big win for them. And I can see probably the same scoreline happening here. I think they will have enough. I'll say 1-0. Next up at Selhurst Park, Palace to host Manchester United. Palace, inconsistent, you could say. Lost, won and drawn their last 3 games. So yeah, that really stands for inconsistency. United drew the last 2 in all competitions, so they'll be looking to get back to winning ways. Although I don't suppose the point at Chelsea wasn't too bad, given the run Thomas Tuchel's been on. But yeah, I'm still expecting them to have more than enough here. I'm going to say 2-0 to Manchester United. Now moving on to the Thursday games, starting off with Fulham versus Tottenham. Fulham, they're going really well at the moment, it has to be said. Maybe slightly disappointed not to get the win at Palace. But yeah, that shows how far you've come, you could argue. Tottenham, they're starting to get back on track now. 2 4-0 wins on the trot in all competitions. So they'll be hoping this is the start of a good run, and I can see them getting a win here. I'm going to say 2-0. West Brom, they host Everton. West Brom, they played really well in that 1-0 win over Brighton. Crucial win, but you could say it was a bit fortuitous. Everton, good win against Southampton last time out. Yeah, and of course that incredible win against Liverpool. So yeah, it will be an interesting one, but I can see Everton getting a win here. I think even after that win on Saturday for West Brom, it's going to be a bit too much for them. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Everton. Next up, Liverpool host Chelsea at Anfield. Liverpool, really big win against Sheffield United last time out. That will calm a few nerves, you could say, in Liverpool camp about recent form, but they do need to follow it up here. Chelsea against Manchester United is a good point for them, I suppose, and solid enough, but yeah, they'll be looking to come to Liverpool and follow it up. Whether or not it will happen, we don't know. I think it's going to be 1-1 though. I can see it being a draw between these two sides. Moving on to the EFL now, Cardiff, who are really on an incredible one against under Mick McCarthy, host Wayne Rooney's Derby. Derby, they're quite inconsistent, you have to say, but did manage to snatch a point against rivals Forest at the weekend, which I think is a decent result. But with the way Cardiff have been going under Mick McCarthy, I just can't see any other result here than a Cardiff win and a Kiefer Moore goal just to continue their incredible form and a playoff push. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Cardiff. Coventry host Middlesbrough at St Andrews. Coventry, yeah, their form's not great, it has to be said. Lost 3, drawn 1 and 1-1, and you could say that's a freak win against Brentford. So yeah, not great. Borough, it did look like they were making some ground on the playoff places, but just 1 point from the last 2 games has kind of set them back a bit. So they desperately need a win here to have any chance, I would say, and I do think they will get them. I think they're slightly stronger, so I'm going to say 2-0. Birmingham host Huddersfield. Huddersfield host Birmingham. In a huge game at the bottom of the Championship. Huddersfield, lots of injuries really. You have to say they are kind of sleepwalking towards the relegation battle. They're really poor at the moment, conceding some awful goals in 19th, but still got a 7-point gap. Although Rotherham do have 2 games in hand, so maybe slightly concerning. against Birmingham side have improved lately, but I just can't see them getting a goal here. I think it's going to be really scrappy. I'm going to say 0-0. Millwall host Preston. Millwall, they're on a really good run of form at the moment, although they have just picked up 2 points from their last 3, beaten by Barnsley last time out. No shame in that, considering the run of form they're on. Preston, they've been on quite a poor run, but picked up a really crucial win against Huddersfield last time out, just to get them back on track. But yeah, I do think Millwall here may have slightly too much for them, but I do think it'll be a really even game. In fact, I'm going to say 1-1. Change my mind on the spot there. Forest host Luton at the City grounds. Forest, they're really picking up now. 7 points from their last 9. Definitely showing signs of solid improvement now under Chris Hughton. Luton, wow, what a comeback on Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, that will give them a massive confidence booster. But I think two sides now who really are just set for mid-table mediocrity now. So I'm going to say 1-0 to Forest. Now I do think they will have slightly too much for them. Reading host Blackburn in what is another crucial game for Reading. What a huge win that game was last time out against Rotherham. Just to really seal their playoff spot and make them a bit more secure in it. Blackburn, they really should have beat 10-man Coventry at home last time out. That's a really disappointing result for them. But yeah, I do think Reading will probably have too much for them, even with Blackburn's danger men in attack. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Royals, I think. Now moving on to Wednesday, and what a huge game this is. Norwich host Brentford. Norwich, they've been on a great run recently and seem to have got away. Brentford in second, it's looking good for them now with Swansea's recent dip of form. All they can do is keep on getting really solid results. And yeah, this will probably be their toughest test of the season. So it'll be an interesting one, but I think they'll share the spoils. I'm going to say 1-1. QPR take on Barnsley at Loftus Road, and this was going to be a really interesting one last time out. It looked like QPR were really on an incredible run of form and could really be challenging for the playoffs, but a really disappointing defeat to Birmingham has kind of put their plans in tatters, you could say. But yeah, Barnsley, they just keep on marching on. A really dominant 2-1 win over Millwall last time out, and I can't see it stopping here. I'm going to say 1-0 to Barnsley. Anyway, next up, Watford host Wickham at Vicarage Road, and Watford, they'll be really disappointed by the defeat to Bournemouth, especially considering Bournemouth is so out of form. It's a game which they really would have been targeting to get the win at. Wickham obviously had that really impressive win against Reading, but then lost to Norwich, so you could kind of say normal service resumed. I don't think they've got much chance of surviving, to be honest. I think it will be fairly comfortable for Watford. I'll say 3-0. Bristol City host Bournemouth on the back of a incredible win, you'd have to say, against Swansea. And what a job Nigel Pearson has done since he's come in. 2 wins, one against Middlesbrough and one against Swansea. Don't think many people had that down, and could he compete at 3 out of 3 with Bournemouth? Bournemouth, what a huge win that was against Watford last time out after a dodgy run of form. But to be honest, I can see them being held here. I'm going to say 1-1. Talking of huge games, there's an absolutely massive game down at the bottom of the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday host Rotherham. Sheffield Wednesday, they're 6 points adrift with a game in hand. Rotherham, 5 points adrift with 2 games in hand. So you'd have to say pretty much for any of these teams, they need a win here to have a much chance of staying up. So yeah, this will be an interesting one. And I can see it being scrappy and tight, and I'm going to say 1-1. Stoke host Swansea in a crucial game at the top of the Championship. Stoke, their promotion or playoff hope seems to be fading pretty fast, if I'm being honest. 7 points now. I think it's very, very unlikely that I'll stay up, get in the playoffs now, sorry. Swansea, they need to be careful, because even if they win both their game in hands, they're still only 2 points ahead of Brentford now after a bit of dip in form. And to be honest, they're on a shaky run at the moment, so I'm going to say 1-1. I can't see them getting a win here. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily football news. And subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.